Going to the islands is a highly prized pastime among Istanbulers. Although the trip by ferry takes so little time, you are still far from the city. To steal a single day amidst the monotonous drone of city life and spend a day surrounded by nature, isn't that a privilege? Well, apparently not for the Byzantine princes. At the time, exiled princes found themselves on these islands. It is in fact why the islands were named the Prince Islands. The islands assumed an entirely new role in 1846 as the first steamers were launched and residents of Istanbul began building their new summer houses. The ferry to the island brings visitors and residents of Istanbul proper to the 8 islands strung out in the Sea of Marmara like pearls. There are 8 of them, yes, but only 4 come to mind when speaking of the Prince Islands. Kınalı, Burgaz, Heybeli, and Büyükada. Our ferry pulls over at Kınalı Island, or, as Byzantines used to call it, Proti. At first glance, the twin Sarakyan residences adjacent to the ferry station are most prominent. After the passengers for Kınalı disembark, we steer for Burgaz Island, also called Antigone or Pyrgos at one time. Burgaz is the island of luxurious villas and graceful mansions wrapped up in shades of green. We can head for Kalpazankaya for a swim maybe, or sit down on the shore to a lunch. Remembrances from the Byzantine Empress Theodora greet us in the Ios Ioannis Church. Here are more summer residences that are the property of Istanbul's St. Georg Austrian High School. Above all the attractions of Burgaz Island is the home of the eminent writer Sait Faik, which was converted into a museum, as well as the author's statue, a feather in the outstretched wings of his reputation, which his book Last Birds helped establish. Just as Sait Faik lost his heart to Burgaz Island, Hüseyin Rami Gürpınar, the author of novels and short stories that took Istanbul at their setting, fell deeply in love with the island next in line, Heybeli. Who knows, maybe his apparition roams the hills covered with pines on Heybeli Island, or Halki, as the inhabitants used to call it. Could his friends be waiting for him in the tea houses or bars around the ferry station? From the former Naval Military School, cadets seem to be reaching us from the white memories of history. The Orthodox hymns of the clergy school long ago lost their voices in the Aya Trias monastery. While Heybeli Island offers a splendid day at the Deremen beach to visitors of all ages, the biggest of the Prince Islands, Principo, or Büyükada as we call it today, glimmers in the sun as our ferry draws closer, and dazzles us with its manicured beauty even from a distance. No sound of running engines, no exhaust from cars. Beautiful horse-drawn phaetons are used as transportation on the islands. How about taking one of those phaetons and going around the island on a big tour? Oh, the air is of such delicate fragrance here. What about these mansions steeped in tranquility and adorned with heavenly flowers? They are engrossed in the memories of long-gone times. Regardless of their new owners, they keep whispering about the past behind their shutters. Büyükada makes visitors feel as if they had arrived at a new longitude where the climate is entirely different from the city of Istanbul. Lovers that we hear about in songs walk hand in hand at Cape Dill. An ornamented donkey takes you along an unpaved road that leads to an amusement park. On the Aya Yorgi Hill is the Orthodox monastery, with icons inside and, from its garden, the island's most heavenly view of the sea. Prayers in Latin are now buried within the walls of San Pacifico, a Catholic church. As we near the end of our tour circumscribing the whole island, the tantalizing aromas of the restaurants invite us ashore. Fish and mussels, sinfully good, weren't they? These are the specialties of the island. There seems to be so much more to do, yet we are running out of time. The ferry is about to leave. If you complain our trip was too brief, The Prince Islands await you, only a ferry ride away, full of grace and charm in all seasons.